Oi, oi, lads. Okay. Is this thing any good? 1 mana 2/2 with haste. Artifact creature. At the beginning of your end step, return it to your hand. Channel 2, discard draw. I mean, it's weird as hell. I would not play this card. I don't really even understand how you're supposed to use it. What? How could you possibly make this good? Combo card? Yeah, but combo what to do what? It's just a worse Bomat Courier. A lot of cards are worse than Bomat Courier though. It's a shock every turn for free. I mean, lots of things are also free if you ignore their cost. You know, like my house was free, by the way. It's pretty cool. I might go buy another one, to be honest. Baller? But if houses were free, I would buy many of them. I don't see this thing, dude. I don't see it. Wait, isn't that really good for standard? What? How is it really good, man? Broken in mono red versus control. How is it broken in mono red versus control? It's worse than just playing a 1 mana 2/2 with no text. Why? I just don't understand why you'd ever want to keep casting your own creature over and over. Just cast it once and use it. I skip. Kami of Industry, 5 mana 3/6, enters the battlefield, return artifact, blah blah blah. Bad. Alright chat, it's dump day, so gotta forgive me, but if the card sucks, on this day and only this day it's a skip. There's too much like common shit to go through them all. 3 mana 2/2, when our equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, reconfigure 2. Too expensive. March of Burgeoning Life. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may exile a number of green cards from your hand. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Choose target creature with mana value less than X. Search the library for a creature card with the same name as that creature. Put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Choose target creature card with mana value less than X. Cool. Search the library for a creature card with the same name as that creature. Put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. I thought this was good the first time I read it, but I didn't realise that you had to choose target creature. So it's just, that makes it just terrible, right? Like completely unplayable, I think. Seems extremely, extremely bad. When we were young, 3 white instant, +2/+2, okay, I skip. Blossom Prancer, 5 mana 4/4 reach. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5, reveal a creature enchantment, put it into your hand. Replication Specialist, speedrun. Speedrun in the last day is the only way to get through it, dude. 5 mana 3/4 flyer. Whenever a non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2. If you do, I ain't paying 2. If you let me just copy it, maybe I'll do it. Roaring Earth. 2 mana enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a counter on target creature or vehicle you control. Channel. XGG. Put X +1/+1 counters on target land you control, it becomes a land that attacks. XGG, huh? So 6 mana to make a 4/4 land. Is this thing any good? I mean, it's cheap, guys. Normally this type of card's like 3 mana, right? And you're just like, okay, I wish it was 2 and then maybe I'd play it. But now it's 2, so do we maybe play it? I mean, 2 mana is not a lot. I mean, you want to be playing it in a deck that puts more than 1 land into play a turn. I'm not really sure that's actually possible in Standard, but maybe it is. Druid class? Yeah, that's about it though, right? And Druid class and Roaring Earth don't really play in the same deck together too well, huh? Because this card wants some cheap creatures in your deck too, so that you can actually start using the buffs. But it also wants some expensive creatures in the deck because it wants to be a deck that's playing a lot of lands. It's a bit weird. Probably not. Mech Hanger. Colorless mana, or 1 mana of any color for a pilot or vehicle. Or 3 in a tap, vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. 5 color vehicles, huh? I mean, it's good in a 2 color vehicle deck, to be honest. It's great in a 3 color vehicle deck. It might actually not be that good in a 2 color vehicle deck though. Depends how many vehicles does a vehicle deck play? Not even if you're playing a vehicle heavy deck, you don't actually play that many of them. So Probably scuffed, but maybe good. If the vehicle deck does end up being like 3 colours and there's a ton of them. Koto's the Silent Spider. 5 mana 4/4 ninja. This is so much text, man. When it enters the battlefield, exile card in an opponent's graveyard other than a basic land. Search that player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that and exile them. Then that player shuffles. For as long as you control Kotos, you may play one of those exiled cards and you may spend mana as though it were mana for any colour to cast it. 5 mana. It's an interesting card, huh? You get to search the graveyard, hand, and library, so it's kind of an Unmoored Ego effect on a 5 mana 4/4. And you might get to play one of the cards, you probably won't. I mean, could be good if you're playing against some sort of combo deck where their combo costs more than 5. There's not many decks like that. So, in my opinion, a possible meta game card, but highly, highly unlikely to see play. I mean, you need some slow-ass combo deck that you want to hit with an Unmoored Ego. If that's the case, maybe. Card needs to be in the yard first. Okay, just 0% chance of any meta seeing that card then. Mindlink Mech, 3 mana vehicle, 4/3, flying. When it becomes crewed for the first time each turn, then until end of turn it becomes a copy of non-legendary creature that crewed at this turn, except it's still 4/3, it's still a vehicle, in addition to its other types, and it has flying. So you crew this thing with Magda, and then you make another treasure when you attack. Non-legendary creature. Guys, like, why do they just keep adding these words that make the cards... Like, okay, so this card's just trash, it might as well not exist then. God, I sleep. Touch the Spirit Realm. 2 white enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile 1 artifact or creature until it leaves the battlefield. Channel 2, exile artifact or creature. Okay. So for 3 you can play an enchantment, removal enchantment, or for 2 you can bounce your guy. I mean, a normal white deck has better removal than this, but there might not be better removal than this if you're playing enchantments. Seems very good. I mean, very good is... That's a strong statement. Maybe it's the best of a bunch of bad enchantment removals for your deck. Let's say that. We'll see. Towashi Guidebot. 4 mana 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, put a counter on creature. 4 in a tap, draw a card. 1 less. Thundering Raiju. 2 RR. Creature Spirit Haste. When it attacks, put a counter on target creature you control. Then, deal X damage to X opponents, where X is the number of other modified creatures you control. Other modified creatures. Oh wait, it doesn't say other on the card, dude. That's a debate. So it can pump itself, and then you get to boink for 1, huh? If you've got no other board. That's pretty good. Oh, it does say that on the card. Okay, well in that case it's got to be terrible, right? If it can't buff itself. Well, it can buff itself, but you don't even get to ping. The fail case on this card is just too low, right? The fail case is 4 mana, 4/4, no text. Or haste, that's it. What do you mean flying? It doesn't have flying. It grows every turn, right? Well, what do you mean every turn? When was the last time you attacked with a creature more than once? I haven't attacked with a creature more than once in about 3 years. I think this thing's a bit of a bait, no? Red also, I guess a sad thing is, red's not a great colour for modify. If this was a white card though, then we'd be pogging. I think this is bad. Check the Hell Rider below if you want to see the true power of red. You think I don't know what Hell Rider is? 4 mana 3/3. When it attacks, Deal damage equal to attacking creatures. Okay, basically. Basically spot on. Roadside Reliquary. Land, tap for colorless, and 2 tap sack. Draw a card if you control an artifact, draw a card if you control an enchantment. I mean, that seems pretty good if you're playing the right deck, obviously. Can you play this in a deck that only plays artifacts or only plays enchantments? Probably only if it's monocolor, huh? You need both? Do you? I mean, it's another banger of a card for Orzhov, dude. Orzhov's looking mighty hot. I mean, guys, if you're satisfying these clauses, then this card's gas, obviously. Not too much to say about it. Gravelighter. 2 black creature spirit. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card if a creature died this turn. Otherwise, each player sacrifices a creature. Not good enough. Aki Ronin. 2 mana, 1/3. Attack alone, I sleep. Eiganju Exemplar. 2 mana, 2/1. Attack alone. 2 mana, 2/1 Ninjutsu 2. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may discard a creature. If you do, destroy creature or planeswalker that player controls. This is terrible, guys. It only procs off itself, huh? Doesn't have Death Touch or anything, so I mean, how do you deal any damage? Rabbit Battery. 1 mana, 1/1 haste. Artifact creature. Equipment Rabbit. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and haste. Reconfigure 1 red. Alright, so I mean, this thing's insanely good. Playable on curve. Yep. Playable in the late game. Yep. Therefore, it's the nuts. This is a banger, chat. Big horse. One red, give haste to any creature? Pretty much, yeah. It's just a great 1-drop. Nice. Cute. You won't be saying that soon, Jesse. We'll see if you still think it's cute in 3 months, mate. Ogre Head Helm. 1 in a red, artifact creature, equipment ogre. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Whenever Ogre Head Helm or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sack it. If you do, discard your hand and draw 3 cards. Reconfigure 3. Okay, this is a bad Bomat Courier. Reconfigure 3, it's way too much, huh? Way too much, sadly. Almost a cool card. Containment Construct, 2 mana, 2/1. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. Hey, that's a little spooky. I mean, we don't, like, in a format like Standard, you don't have an insane amount of ways to be discarding cards, but in the right deck, it's kind of a banger. Unforgiving 1. 3 mana, 2/3 Spirit Menace. When it attacks, return target creature card with mana X or less from graveyard to battlefield, where X is the number of modified creatures you control. Nope. Seismic Wave. 3 mana instant, deal 2 to any target and 1 to each creature target opponent controls. Nope. 1 counter, return 1 drops. It's just, it's a 3 mana 2/3 with like, it's just another creature with these like deal combat damage effects that can't actually even attack because they're so fucking small. Okay, green rare, Springleaf Avenger, 5 mana insect ninja, ninjutsu 4. Whenever Avenger deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Whoa, Pog. Pog. This thing is sick. If you have like, say you have like a 2-drop in play and you attack, and then your opponent, you've got like 4 lands. If your opponent doesn't block, you just get to ninjutsu this guy straight onto the battlefield, connect for 6 damage, and then you get to bring a permanent card back from graveyard to hand. This thing seems really good. I'm just going to say it, this set has some really good green ninjas. True. That's true. Dragonspark Reactor, 1 red artifact. When Dragonspark Reactor or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a charge counter on the reactor. 4 sack, deal damage to equal to number of charge counters to player and a creature. 4 to sack is just too much, man. Why 4? Why not like 0? Like this card literally could be 0 to sack it and it would still be good. Or it would actually be good. 2 to sack? What about 0? How about 0? Zero would be busted as hell. No, 0 would be playable card. It's pretty cool though. It's a cool card, but 4 to sack, I sleep. Explosive Singularity, 10 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this, you may tap any number of untapped creatures. Costs 1 less for each tapped. So it's 10 damage, 10 mana, deal 10 with Convoke. Sorcery speed. How about if it, instead of dealing 10, it dealt like 999? If you're going to make me play 10? It's a lot of effort to deal 10 damage, innit? Flame Discharge. XR instant, X damage to creature planeswalker. If you control a modified creature, X plus 2 instead. Yeah, we've seen this already, right? So if you have a modified creature, then you have a shock that can't go face. Dockside Chef. 1 black, enchantment creature, human citizen, and for 2 you can sack an artifact or creature to draw. Okay, this guy is gas. This is a 1 mana merchant. 3 mana merchant's a little scuffed. 1 mana merchant? Now we're talking. Doesn't die to Spike Field Hazard, which is pretty cool. It can sack itself in response to removal. Card's just gas. I will be playing this in some Magic the Gathering decks. That's all I can say. This plus this stream. Pog you. Rezona Asari Commander. 1 red white for a 3/3 haster. When it deals combat damage to a player, if it doesn't have indestructible, put an indestructible counter on it. Whenever combat damage is dealt to you, remove an indestructible counter. It's not very good against an old growth troll, but it's kinda okay against most other stuff. It's fucking great. But you need to up your threshold for great. It's not great, but it seems okay though. The thing is, Boros has good 3-drops already. I highly doubt this will be one of them. Like, maybe you can put it in your sideboard for non-black control decks, if such a thing exists. Because this thing still does die to Meathook. It seems like a decent creature. I highly doubt it will see much play though. Blade Blizzard Kitsune. Just because 3-drop slot in those two colours is already stacked. Fox Ninja, 2/2 double strike ninjutsu 4. Nope. Go Shintai of Lost Wisdom. Beginner of end step, you may pay 1. When you do, player mills of X cards, where X is the number of shrines. Mill. A lot of shrine fans, huh? Bronze Cudgels, 1 mana equipment. 2 until end of turn, creature gets +X/+0 with X's number of times this ability has resolved this turn. Equip 1. That might be the worst card in the set. Patchwork Automation. 2 mana 1/1. Ward 2. Whenever you cast an artifact, put a counter on Patchwork Automation. Wow. That's pretty nuts. Ward 2 on a 2-drop? What? It's not fair. This is a horse for sure, yeah. What's not to like about this? I mean, the only thing I don't like about this is this plus Fiddlebender is not a combo, but other than that, it's cool. I mean, it's just very strong, right? Dump Day? Dude, I told you, there's some good cards here. What the fuck? Hey, Matthew is impressed. I'm also impressed. Kami of Transience. 2 mana spirit, 2/2 trample. Whenever you cast an enchantment, put a +1/+1 counter at the beginning of each end step. If an enchantment was put into your graveyard from battlefield, you may return Kami from graveyard to hand. Why all the enchantment payoff cards in this set are not enchantments themselves? It's like, it's lame as shit. What's the point in that? They have to also be enchantments. Good card unplayable? I think so, yeah. You don't have space in your enchantment deck for payoff cards that are not themselves enchantments. Like, this is a really good one. It still seems like you just can't play it though. This is for auras? I don't think this is that good in auras, is it? It's just another card, there's no space for it in auras. Wizards have a boner for artifacts but don't care about enchantments. Well, that is because artifacts are cooler than enchantments, man. So, seems like a reasonable outlook. Janky combo with this and like totem armor? I don't know. Like this type of card just completely depends on how much space you have left in your deck, right? Because it's so hard to fit cards like this in. You need lands, you need enchantments, you need removal, you need all sorts of stuff, and then you can consider these non-enchantment payoff cards. If it was in itself an enchantment, then it would be a 10 out of 10 banger. But without the enchantment tag, it might be unplayable. Eiganjo, Seat of the Empire. Legendary land. Deal 4. I've seen this. Good land, yep. 3 mana Saga. Stage 1, make a mana dork. Stage 2, put a counter on 2 creatures. Stage 3, get a 2/2 flyer. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X. When you do, put X counters on that creature. As long as you control 5 or more modified creatures, you get +5/+5 in trample. This thing is insanely slow. But I mean, that is kind of good text though. Text which says spend all your mana every turn is good text. It's great text, because that's how you win games of Magic. You don't get the mana dork portion of it. Mana dorks are fine, right? I don't know, weird card. Doesn't strike me as absolutely insane, but I also would not be surprised to see people try it. The Long Reach of Night. Each opponent sacks a creature unless they discard a card twice, and then flip into a 0/4 with Menace, or X4, where X is the number of creature cards in defending player's graveyard. We sleep. Kumano faces Kakazan. 1 mana red saga. Stage 1. Deal 1 damage to opponent and each planeswalker they control. When you cast your next creature spell this turn, that gets a +1/+1 counter. And then you get a 2/2 with haste, where you get to exile creatures. Wow. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. mean, you can't ask for too much more than that when you're tapping one red land once to cast it. Yeah, the fact that you get to kill Lolth is pretty cool. Mono red lives? Maybe, I mean, good Saga for one, good creature for one as well they've got. But dude, mono red has not been a thing for like 2 years. I really hope it is a thing now. I'm telling you, chat, any standard format where mono red is not tier 1 is a bad standard format. Like, that is one of the fundamental rules of good standard. Mono red has to be good. It has to be good. If it's not, format sucks. You might not be a mono red player yourself, but you have to enable mono red to be good for you to enjoy playing your deck. Those are the facts. Not terrible, but not exactly exciting. Oh my god. I'm gonna go crazy, chat. That's the comment of a person who doesn't read the text on cards. They just look at the mana cost, and the higher it is, the cooler it is, you know? If card costs 10, card equals cool. The mono red understander has logged on. Dude, I think mono red being good is healthy for a format's replayability. Invoke the Ancients. Create 2 4/5 green spirit creature tokens. Like, dude, seriously. If you don't play a lot of Magic, you know? If you play, say you're a once a week Andy, where you sit down, you launch Arena, you find like an hour or two to yourself, finally, after a long, hard week at work. You must have the option to just boot up a couple of games of mono red. That has to be one of your options. Otherwise, the format sucks. Simple as that. You don't have to choose the option. You might pick a different option, but mono red must be one of your options. Invoke the Ancients. 1 GGGG. Sorcery. Create 2 4/5 green spirit creature tokens. For each of them, put your choice of a Vigilance counter, a Reach counter, or a Trample counter on it. I mean, isn't this kind of good? This plus Chariot. This plus attack all. Seems pretty good. Or just play Ren. Isn't this thing better than Ren? It's got to be better than Ren. You get 2 tokens instead of 1 token. Why would you want 1 when you can get 2? This plus your 5th land, yeah. Better floor, worse roof than Ren? Yeah, but mono green only cares about the floor though. Because of Chariot? This thing is better than Ren and mono green, with or without Chariot. It's just better. There's no way in hell this is not the... If your mono green deck has a 5 mana card in it, it's going to be this one. It's as simple as that. March of Swirling Mist. X blue instant. As an additional cast, exile any number of blue cards, 2 less for each. Yep. Up to X target creatures phase out. What? Okay, that's great news. I was actually very scared of what the blue one would be. This is a big sleeper, and for that we pog. Colossal Sky Turtle, 4 GG blue. Enchantment creature turtle, flying ward 2, channel 3, return creature from graveyard, return card from graveyard to hand, channel 2, return creature to owner's hand. 2 different channel effects, huh? That's pretty interesting. But, I mean, the creature is just so bad, though. Like, if you could actually cast the creature, then maybe, even if it was a bad creature, then maybe the card would be good. But this card basically does not even have the creature on it. Good in Modern Living End. Yeah, is it? I feel like your deck's already filled with better things than this. Better than Brazen Borrower in Living End? No way, man. No way. I think this thing sucks, guys. Modal stuff is good. However, a card having modal stuff on it does not necessarily mean it's a good card. Simic Reanimator? What do you mean Simic Reanimator? You're not reanimating a 6/5 flyer with like no text on it. What the hell is this? It's a weird card. I mean, it's a cool card. I just wish the creature was like cheaper, you know? So that you could, so that your card actually had 3 options instead of 2. Thundersteel Colossus. 7 mana vehicle. 7 mana 7/7 vehicle with trample and haste, crew 2. So, this big boy. Shrine Steward. 5 mana 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an aura or shrine, put it into your hand. Skip. 3 mana 1/1 drone flyer, enters the battlefield, create a token. Skip. Oh, this one again. Back to this gas card. Papercraft Decoy. 2 mana artifact frog. 2/1. When it leaves the battlefield, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. Can't I just get the card? Can't you just give me the card? For 0? Ninja's Kunai. 1 mana artifact, equip 1. Equipped creature has 1 tap, sack the Kunai, deal 3 to any target. So it's 3 mana, tap your creature, deal 3, but you can play it over multiple turns. I sleep. Network Terminal, 3 mana artifact, tap, add 1 mana of any colour, 1 and a tap, and tap another artifact, draw and discard. Scuffed Celestus? Kind of. Pog? I don't know. 1 mana, tap... well, it's kind of 2 mana, I guess, huh? Because you have to tap your mana rock, so 2 mana, tap another artifact, draw, discard. Awful. Iron Apprentice. It is a good replacement for Celestus if you're free to play, Andy, yeah. Iron Apprentice, 1 mana 0/0. Enters the battlefield with a counter on it. When it dies, if it had counters, put those counters on target which you control. Okay. We see one of these cards all the time. Ecologist's Terrarium. Dude. I've actually, over the last couple of weeks, I've been watching a few YouTube videos of terrariums. They're good videos. Highly recommend if you're in the market for some chilled out videos with some little animals to make you smile. I highly recommend. Check them out. Is it Serpa Design? I have no idea. I watched like 3 videos. I don't know what channel it was. All 3 videos were good. It is tempting me to get my own terrarium, but I just don't. I don't think I have the capabilities to maintain it optimally. Terrarium building stream. Is that fun? I think that sounds more like it was fun in theory, but then when it comes round to time to actually doing it, nobody wants to watch it. Like, that's a lot of yeses, right? But at least 80% of the people saying yes wouldn't watch. So, what are you gonna do? True. 2 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, search the library for a basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle. 2 tap, sack it, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. I sleep. Yeah. Eater of Virtue. 1 mana legendary artifact equipment. Whenever equipped creature dies, exile it. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Equip 1. As long as a card exiled with Eater of Virtue has flying, equipped creature has flying. The same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Protection, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Hold up. Right. Well, this thing is just bonkers, no? Absolutely bonkers. So, 1 mana to cast, equip 1. Okay, I'm already pogging. +2/+0, decent. And it just gets kinda better as the game goes on. Yeah, I mean, this plus Fervent Champion, huh? Legendary Bone Splitter, I sleep? Come on. This is not a legendary Bone Splitter. This is legendary Bone Splitter ++. Does this work with sack triggers? No. Because when it dies, exile it, right? Or... no. Does it die first and then exile immediately after? Or does dying no longer become a thing? It should die first, right? So you should still get a sack trigger, I guess. Okay. So, what you're telling me is we're going to make a deck with Eater of Virtue and as many of these words as possible that are on good creatures. I'm ready to do that. So what are they actually, like, we're not going to play a bad creature just because it has a word. What are the good creatures with these words? And what colours are they? Thalia. Interesting. But you kind of, there must be some creatures that have got. Is it what are the okay? New question, chat. Give me some creatures that cost like 1 or 2 that have 2 or more of these words. Rahilda. Wait, does Rahilda give you... Does Rahilda give you double strike? Even if it dies during day? No. That's got to be a nope, right? Okay, so, I mean, Rahilda would have been a banger, though, if that was not the case. It gives first strike even if it's night. What? Are you sure? Oh, because it dies first, then gets exiled. It goes into the... It dies as a daytime Rahilda, huh? Alright, scammed. Swiftblade Vindicator, Double Strike, Vigilance, Trample. Is that still in standard? No? Okay. Bit sad. Alright, Battlefield Raptor is kind of a banger, yeah. Flying First Strike, 1-drop. Okay, that's really good. Triumphant Adventurer, yeah, First Strike. Well, but Triumphant Adventurer only has Death Touch. No, it wouldn't get Death Touch though, because it only has Death Touch in combat, right? So even if it dies in combat, you still won't get Death Touch. You're playing a bunch of dorks with keywords? Well, that's what I'm saying, right? You want to play... You're not going to add a bad creature, like, just because it has some good words here. I think you should be able to build a deck with... and just fill them with some good creatures and put this in it. Black 1-drop, Lifelink Menace. Yeah, that's pretty good. Finding creatures with hexproof or indestructible are kind of important for the combo. But it's not really a combo, man. It's just... You just top deck a creature and then you just equip this and then you've got the best creature on the battlefield, and if your opponent can somehow remove it, then you top deck literally any other creature in your deck, you just equip this and again you've got the best creature on the battlefield. Wayward Guidebeast, Trample, Haste. Yeah, but Wayward Guidebeast can't really die though, huh? Because you can't attack with your Wayward Guidebeast. If you attack, it's just going to bounce back to your hand and you'll never get the words on the weapon. It's an interesting card though. We'll definitely be making a deck. For sure. Dramatist's Puppet. When it enters the battlefield, for each kind of counter on target permanent, put another counter on. Sleep. Brute Suit. Brute Suit. 3 mana 4/3 Vigilance Crew 1. Automated Artificer. 2 mana 1/3 Artifact Mana Dork. Nope. Tamiyo's Safekeeping. 1 mana instant. Target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 2 life. What? That's pretty good. Target permanent, hexproof and indestructible. Hey. Can't ask for much better than that for your 1 mana. Because you ain't going to get much better than that for your 1 mana either. Doesn't cycle garbage. Come on, dude. 3 mana instant, return creature card from graveyard to hand or artifact or enchantment card from graveyard to hand. Trash. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Just nowhere near as good as Inscription, huh? 1 or both. Yeah, man, who cares about 1 or both? If you're playing the perfect deck and your opponent has perfectly removed 2 different permanents at some point, then sure, you can do 3 mana draw 2. Then and only then can you do your instant speed divination. Jukai Preserver. 4 mana 3/3, put a counter on target creature you control. Channel for 3, put a counter on 2 creatures. Nope. Harmonious Emergence. 4 mana, make a land a 4/5 with Vigilance and Haste. If it would be destroyed, instead sacrifice this and it gains indestructible until end of turn. Now that's not far off being good. That is, it's not good, but that is real close. Crafted Growth. 3 mana, enchant land, put a counter on a creature or vehicle and tap your land to add 2. Meh. Favor of Jukai. Enchant artifact or creature. Dude, is it just me or do any of you guys sleep at green expensive buff cards? Like, they're not only are they just never good enough for for constructed, they always just suck in limited too. They're just bad. Fade into Antiquity. 3 mana sorcery, exile artifact or enchantment. Commune with Spirits. Green sorcery. Look at the top 4, reveal enchantment or land, put it into your hand, put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay. This thing's gas. Is the MIQ over? Yep. This is yet another one in the long line of most underrated card in Magic the Gathering history. Like, Adventurous Impulse and Friends. No type of card has ever been underrated as much as those cards. This card's just sick, right? As long as you've got enough enchantments in your deck. See, this is like kind of another reason to not play that non-enchantment enchantment payoff, huh? Like, this card is honestly just a better enchantment payoff than that one is. You can get any land as well, thank God. Sometimes they put basic land on cards like this just to make you not be able to use it. Another Commune With for my collection. Hey Scotty, you know what's up. This card is gas. Careful Cultivation. 3 mana enchantment. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+3. Get me out of here. Enchantment creature, 3 mana, 3/2 monk. For 6, you can put a counter on a creature. Voltage Surge, 1 mana red instant. As an additional cost to cast this, you may sacrifice an artifact. You can deal 2 to creature or planeswalker, or 4 if you sacked an artifact. Could be good. I mean, you need artifacts in your deck that do something if sacked, but if you've got that, seems kinda good. Rakdos Blood and Alchemy might be a thing. Yeah, dude, the heavy blood token version is already pretty decent. It's getting some cool cards too. This thing just seems pretty good to me. Pretty good. Towashi Songshaper. 2 mana, 2/2 artifact creature. Whenever artifact enters the battlefield, +1/+0. Scrapyard Steelbreaker. 4 mana, 3/4. 1 sack an artifact, +2/+1. Nope. Kindled Fury. 1 mana, +1/+0, and first strike. I mean, dude, that thing's kinda good and limited, huh? Limited trash? I don't know about limited trash, more like limited fucking insane. Kami's Flare, 2 mana instant, deal 3 to target creature or planeswalker. Also deal 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. Nope. 2 mana deal 3 or 1 mana deal 4. Pog. Ironhoof Boar. There's already other like 2 mana deal 3s in standard that are just better than that, right? Alright. 6 mana common. I ain't reading it. Gift of Wrath. 4 mana, +2/+2 and menace. When it leaves the battlefield, make a 2/2. Explosive Entry. Sorcery, 2 mana, destroy artifact, put a counter on creature. Bad, but not the worst thing I've ever seen. Experimental Synthesizer. 1 mana red artifact. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. For 3, you can sack it and make a 2/2 with Vigilance. This plus that removal spell? You can only play the card on this turn though, but I mean, it's kind of like for 1 mana, it ain't bad. You can play lands off of it too, huh? This has to be decent at least. It is unplayable on curve, but I don't think that's the end of the world when it comes to cheap artifacts, though. This has to be good, right? I don't think I live in a universe where no deck can use this card. We live in a universe where a deck can play this, for sure. Definitely decent, possibly great. Yep. Only 2 comments on this thing, huh? Shame. 2 mana enchant land. Land is a 3/3 with haste. If it would be destroyed. Eh? 2 mana 3/3 haste. What? I mean, you need to have 3 lands to actually. Well, you don't really need to have 3 lands to use it, but you need to have 3 lands for it to have haste at least. And then it's a 3/3 with haste. 3 mana 3/3 with haste. But at least you can cast it on turn 2. So it's a 2 mana tapped 3/3. Or a 3 mana 3/3 with haste, and you basically lose a land until it's dead. Again, man. Kinda close to being good. I'm impressed by the commons. Like, it's not good, but again, it is really not that far off. These commons ain't bad. 3 mana instant, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If you control a modified creature, draw a card. Virus Beetle. Artifact Burglar Rat. Right, I mean, that has to be good. There's no way this is bad. Artifact Burglar Rat? It's still a Burglar Rat? I don't think. I think if you're playing Artifact Pio, this is no longer a Burglar Rat. And more Burglar Rat Mega Plus. This will see play in Historic. I wouldn't be surprised. This is, if you're playing a full artifact deck, this is simply just a good card. This is a good card. If you're not playing full artifacts, then it is simply a Burglar Rat, therefore not good. Just very cool. Undercity Scrounger. 3 mana 1/4. Tap, create a treasure. Only if a creature died. Twisted Embrace. Another Bejora. Return to action. 2 mana instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and lifelink, and when it dies, return it tapped. Yeah. Those cards are bad even at 1 mana, really. Reckoner's Bargain. 2 mana, sack an artifact or creature, gain life, draw 2 cards. So instead of getting a treasure, you get 0 or 1 life. I sleep. Reckoner Shakedown. Opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, they discard. If you don't, put 2 counters. What? If you don't, put 2 counters on a creature. So it's either a 3 mana discard or 3 mana look at their hand, buff your guy. Kami of Terrible Secrets. 4 mana, 3/4. If you control an artifact or enchantment, draw a card and gain 1 life. It's kind of a bomb in limited, no? Like, a serious bomb? Kami of Restless Shadows. Oh, you need both. Okay, well, probably not then. 5 mana, 3/3. Return Ninja or Rogue from graveyard to hand. Put creature from graveyard on top of library. Target player discards 2 cards. Ninjas and Rogues gain Menace. Target 3 mana instant. Opponent exiles a creature they control. Exiles an enchantment they control. Combat tricks for days. Libation. The Libation sucks though. Enchant artifact or creature. As long as it's a creature, it gets -1/-1 and can't block. And at the beginning of upkeep, you lose 1 life. Meh. 3 mana, 2/2. When Centipede or equipped creature attacks, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. It's kind of good. No. Until end of turn, vehicle 4/5, draw a card. Nope. 4 mana, 3/3, enters the battlefield. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. If you do, discard. Alright. Have we seen all the good ones? Because these all seem really bad now. 2 mana flash, -3/-0, loses flying. 2 mana, bounce your guy, put a counter on it. 3 mana, 1/4 flyer, when it becomes tapped, scry 1. 2 mana, artifact, and then for 2 you can sack it and draw 2. Or you can channel for 1 to draw. So, what is this? What is this card? It's either a bad Behold the Multiverse or a bad opt. But it's modal and it's an artifact. So does that make it okay? Sounds like it should make it okay. Seems decent, right? Good Lurrus card? Maybe. Good if you have artifact recursion. It also might just be good even if you don't have recursion though. I don't think you want this in Fiddlebender though, no. Because It would need to also draw you cards if you sacrifice it by some other means, huh? But it seems you only get to draw the 2 cards if you sacrifice it by paying 2. Hieroglyphic elimination. Well, it's kind of like that, but it's somewhat better than that, no? Than elimination. Because you can pay 2 twice over multiple different turns. You don't have to pay 4. This is another one where I just don't see how it can be bad. It's gotta be fine. Mirror Shell Crab, 7 mana artifact crab, 5/7, ward 3, channel 3. Counter spell or ability unless its controller pays 3. What? A counter spell that you don't even cast? That seems kinda good. What? How does opponent, like, fight your counter? Isn't this thing insane? Dovin's Veto? What do you mean Dovin's Veto? You don't do anything, you just fucking discard this thing and counter their spell. This thing is crazy, no? This is 11 end card, yeah. And it's an artifact, yeah, baby. I mean, guys, I know it's a common, but this thing is just good. This thing is simply just good. It's an uncounterable mana leak for 3. That can also counter abilities. Like, that has to be good. That has to be good. A streamer is debating chat. No, I don't think that this... Honestly, this is one of the best cards in the set. And it's just a random fucking dump day common. In terms of commons, you mean? What do you mean in terms of commons? It's just one of the... What do you mean in terms of commons? It's just one of the best cards. All rarities. Why? Well, because if I counter your spell and you can't counter mine, that's not very fair, is it? Does that sound fair to you? Holy crab, that's good. Colin, come on. Come on, Colin, not like this. They didn't capitalise the joke. Kitty, okay, you're getting timed out. You don't need to repeat someone else's joke and then capitalise it. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Capitalising jokes is a bannable offence in this chat. It's one of the rules. That's a capital offence. Come on. That's too much. Right, chat. This card is in the top 10 cards of the set, of all rarities. Don't at me. Like, easily in the top 10. Easily peasily in the top 10. Yep. Spell or ability unless they pay 3, and it's a channel. It's just good. Futurist Sentinel. 4 mana, 6/6 vehicle, crew 3. Disruption Protocol, blue instant. Has an additional cost to cast a spell, tap an untapped artifact you control or pay 1. Counter target spell. Okay, this thing is also insane. Jesus Christ. Turn 1, portable hold their creature. Turn 2, you've just got counterspell up. I mean, that's just solid. Rebuke's better turn 2? Yeah, true. Rebuke is better than this for a while. But there does come a point where this gets better. I mean, you probably play... Wouldn't... I could see the Affinity decks playing Rebuke and this. Why not? I don't think that deck would hate having more counterspells. I mean, guys, this card is also insane. This set is a pauper's miracle, dude. There's so many good commons. Are Wizards finally letting us use commons in Constructed? Maybe. CGB said it was nothing special. But the last one? What does CGB know about the last one? He's never had a fucking permanent in play in his life. What does he know about tapping permanents to cast stuff? He knows nothing. What are you on about? Except Yorion, yes. Yorion is the only permanent CGB has ever put in play. Alright, what's this? Deal 4 to attacking or blocking creature. I sleep. Repel the Vile. Exile big creature or enchantment. 4 mana? How about 2? What about 2? What about 1? Regent's Authority, 1 mana instant. +2/+2 until end of turn if it's an enchantment creature or legendary. Put a counter on it and it gets +1/+1. I mean, it's no Snakeskin Veil, is it? One mana, 1/1 flyer. 4 and a tap creature. Fox Warrior. Be proud, young pup. You've earned your wings. Rise and become the Western Wind. The Western Wind? The Western Wind. Okay. Lucky Offering. 1 mana, destroy artifact with mana value 3 or less, gain 3 life. Good card. Moth Rider Patrol. Excuse me? Excuse me? How's that the same card like 10 times? Alright. 1 moment please, chat. Got some tabs to be closing. Dude, my computer is grinding to a halt here. What's with the mana efficiency in white? Dude, white's just it's a good colour. Control W to close open tab. Yeah, but the Control W is harder than click 1 time. Alright. We're down to the last 6 cards, chat. 2 mana 2/2. When a vehicle attacks, choose 1. Vehicle gains first strike, untap. Vehicle gains first strike, huh? Another one that's not far off being decent. 3 mana Asleep. 3 mana 3/4 vehicle, crew 2. When it attacks, return creature or vehicle card with mana value 2 or less from graveyard to hand. Another one that's almost good. 6 mana sorcery, create 3 plebs, scry 3. 2/3 lifelinker for 3. And the final card, Dragonfly Suit. 3 mana 3/2 flying vehicle, crew 1. Alright, that's it, chat. Set is complete. I think this set is very cool. I'm hyped to play some Artifact Pile. I'm hyped to play Enchantment Pile. I'm hyped to play Sack Pile. And I'm hyped to play Mono Red Pile. We'll see about some other decks too. Keyword Pile, yeah. We need to play Keyword Pile also. Alright, chat. I'm freaking out of here. Ecuador! Ecuador!